Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Conversations That Matter. I'm your host, Alex Newman, and just when you thought the government indoctrination centers could not possibly sink any lower, I mean, it's not enough that they're teaching our kids to hate God, to hate their parents, to hate their families, to hate their country. Now they're teaching them the wonders of cannibalism. And you think I'm kidding. You think I'm just being facetious. I'm not. We have a very special guest with us to talk about this scandal. Happened in a school in Georgia, and she's going to break it down for us. But it is so sick. So today we have with us Rhonda Thomas, very special guest. She's become a friend of mine. She's the founder and president of Truth in Education. She's been working very closely with legislators in Georgia, dealing with education, this crazy racist trash, also known as critical race theory. She's been doing this for decades in Georgia, working through the legislature, lobbying and trying to get good things passed and bad things stopped. She's also a member of the Protect Child Health Coalition. They're having a big conference up in Ohio next weekend. So Rhonda and I will both be there. But so much going on, guys. And so I want to introduce you to Rhonda. She's actually a returning guest. But Rhonda, thank you so much for coming on the show today. And we had gotten some emails about this as well. But tell us what happened in this school in Georgia with this grotesque lesson.
Well, Alex, I do want to give credit to Protect Student Health Georgia because they were the ones that received this first and shared it with us. So I want to make sure that. But very excited that they shared it with us, Truth in Education. But this was actually supposed to be satire. Can you imagine using cannibalism as satire for high school students? So there's a school, Richmond Hill High School in Georgia. They wanted these students to create a business model that basically raising and eating human babies to solve the world hunger problem. And so they actually had to come up with a plan for mass production, distribution, and target market. So this came to light because some of the students got very upset, and so a parent actually submitted this. But this was being taught as satire again in an English class. This was an example. So because the students were so upset, we found out about it, but we really want to make sure that parents are aware that this is trying to normalize cannibalism. We're seeing it in Hollywood, right, with the Katy Perry and the Netflix movie they did with Madonna and Drew Barrymore. So there's a lot going on. But they actually went through step by step. Let me tell you what they had. This is not part of the curriculum. We believe a teacher actually brought this in. But one of the first things that they start with is when you first give us your child that you unfortunately cannot keep, we will take them from you. Do not be worried. Your baby is in good hands. To first care for your child, we will give them a vaccine, keep them safe from for some reason, they put Panorama. After that, they usually get very tired from the shot. They will get sick and will not wake up. Can you believe this? So when this happens, we have a small funeral. And after that, in capital letters, we feast. Since the child has passed, we don't need to take up any more land for cemeteries, so we slap them on the grill and cook their flesh and make delicious hamburgers. They taste just like the real thing. Oh my gosh. Then they go into their business plan of mass production. For mass production, we would encourage the U.S. government to create a business negotiation with China about trying to reduce their population by donating children to our government. We also take all children from organizations, including foster care. They are just taking this to the extreme. And it says the production is once they receive these babies, Alex, the meat is cured and dried, similar to that of beef jerky, so that it doesn't spoil and is preserved longer. And then they refer to having a Dahmer's mini camp. You are what you eat. And the target market for this is low income, poverty areas and countries. So once again, we are going after areas in our country. We know that Planned Parenthood, right, has always gone after the Black population, And so to me, this feeds right into that. They're normalizing again cannibalization. And this book, My Friend Dahmer, is a graphic novel, which we're seeing more of that in our schools. This, as they referred to in this mass production and business plan, this can be accessed through our children's database in their media centers that are filtered, but they can get into EBSCO, and I think we've talked about this before, and they can get this book, My Friend Dahmer. This is an award-winning book. Can you believe this? For our children. They're actually making a movie out of it. So our schools are targeting our children. And this goes back to, which I know you're really familiar with, social emotional learning. This is shocking their value system, shocking their emotions, to be able to break them down and make this normal. This Dahmer book is a very creepy book if you think about what he did and the lives that he affected. And now we're bringing this into our school system.
Yeah. Oh, it's so grotesque, Rhonda. And imagine the kind of reprobate mind that would come up with this and argue it was humorous. So I've actually got a photo that was sent to us. It says, Plan B, we got you covered. They got a little tagline for their monstrous baby eating business. It says, you make them, we bake them. Okay, folks, this is the kind of depraved mind. This is the kind of depraved thing that is going on in our schools. And for those who just think this is harmless fun, recognize also that this is how homosexuality was normalized and eventually foisted on America. It started off just, throwing it out there like it's fun, like it's cute, putting it in your face. And, back in the 1990s, people don't realize, I think a lot of it is the young people, sodomy was still a crime across virtually the entire United States. And yet in the schools, starting in the early 1990s, the children were bombarded with LGBT propaganda, preparing them. In fact, one of the documentaries they used to show these children featured an LGBT activist teacher talking about how, hey, let's be pretend judges, children, and let's think about what we do about these mean old laws banning homosexuals from getting married. So, folks, there's a method to the madness here. We also know that in California, the governor just signed over the last week a bill mandating this ethnic studies model curriculum. For those who haven't followed our coverage of that, this insane curriculum requires elementary school children to chant to the Aztec demonic deities of cannibalism and war and human sacrifice. So, guys, the level of depravity that is invading our public schools, and as you see, it's even in Georgia, is just absolutely off the charts. Rhonda, what are you hearing from parents? I actually got an email from Marcia Metzger about this issue as well. She sent me some of these screenshots as well. So I know the word is spreading very quickly in Georgia. You've made some phone calls to some of the school officials involved. What's going on? I mean, is this person going to be fired? Are we going to have some kind of change, or what's going to go on here?
We're trying to organize a rally at the school, Alex, and bring more attention to this, because this needs to stop right here. We don't know what other schools this has been introduced in. So we need to make a really big, bring a lot of attention to this, because we don't want this to go further. We need parents to understand how, like you said, depraved our schools are becoming. This is one of the worst things I think I've seen, but I'm not shocked, because when you think about what's in our schools, the mindfulness, this is satanic. This is satanic. And so we have got to get this out of our schools. The parents are very upset. There's been a lot of feedback on all of this. Parents wanting to know what to do, what can we do, because they don't want this coming to their schools. Yeah. So this teacher needs to be held accountable.
Yeah. And what you said is just, it's so striking, and it's so sad that you're not even shocked. And I wasn't either. When I got this email a few years ago, I might've been shocked, but today, it'd be hard to shock me anymore with what's going on in the schools. And so I understand you even confirmed with some of the school officials that the leadership there is aware of this. Supposedly they're investigating, and who knows what else. I guess a lot of parents are upset. But folks, I mean, think about this, okay? And if this is happening in conservative Georgia, just imagine what's going on in Illinois and New York and California. I mean, they're at the point now where they're normalizing pedophilia as just another sexual orientation. We've got them on video, talking the assistant superintendent saying, "Oh, well, we got to teach them pedophilia. It's just a sexual orientation that's existed throughout history." Right? I mean, this stuff is bonkers, guys. And we all recognize that it's crazy. But what happens is, you normalize it in one generation, and as the older generations die off and the younger generations generations take over, this becomes just kind of normal. Rhonda, in the last few minutes that we have left, what advice do you have for parents, for activists, for taxpayers who are sick of this? What can people do, and how can people in Georgia get in touch with you and connect with the excellent work that you're doing there?
They can reach out to us through truthineducation.org, Alex, and my email is rhonda@truthineducation.org. And we really are encouraging parents to take a stand. This may require eventually us pulling our children from these schools. These schools are not getting better. They're really not. It's just getting worse. So we want to encourage parents, do not stand back on the sidelines. You can't. We are here for this purpose, and we need to stand up for our children. Our children need to see us standing up for them, but we need to get involved. We need to not have our heads in the sand or be fearful. They have done a good job of creating fear in parents and teachers.
Well, y'all are domestic terrorists now, right? If you go and stand up for your kids, you're a domestic terrorist. So how's that going over in Georgia? Are parents cowering in fear now that the government has insinuated that they are domestic terrorists?
I don't think so. I think the people, especially that were already involved, it really just built a fire under us to prove that we are doing the right thing. In fact, that tells me, Alex, that we're over the target.
Yep.
They're very concerned that we might have, they're losing kids in schools. Homeschool has doubled in Georgia. So I think they're going to see, bottom line, that the parents are going to affect their profits. And we know that's why they came out after us, right? Because of Panorama and the money that's involved in that. Our children are for profit. They're not even looking at our children as great creatures of God. They're just looking at them as, how can we make money off of them? And so we need to make sure as parents that we understand that, and that we do not let that happen, and we do not cower back, because if we do, they're going to feel stronger and more empowered. We need to be empowered, and we need to stand up for our kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ron, I want to thank you so much for speaking out on this. Thank you for helping to get this information out there. Folks, her website, truthineducation.org. If you're in Georgia, if you want to get connected, that's one way to do it. And folks, just let it sink in, all right? What kind of a mind thinks it's funny to get students in a school to think in terms of turning babies into food? I've got a baby. He's probably in the kitchen right now with my wife. What kind of monster would think that there's anything funny or cute about that, folks? It's time to wake up. These are our kids on the line. These are horrific, demonic, evil ideas that are being put into their heads. This is poison, and it's going to lead to a catastrophe if we don't take action. Rhonda, thank you for joining us. Folks, thank you for watching.
Thank you, Alex.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you on, Rhonda. We look forward to checking back in with you soon. I look forward to seeing you in Ohio in just a matter of days here.
Yes.
Folks, get involved. Share this video with your friends, especially with people you know in Georgia. But recognize this is not unique to Georgia, guys. This is a national scandal, what's going on in these so-called schools. And if you don't get involved, it's going to get worse. Thank you guys for watching. Alex Newman here, Conversations That Matter for the New American Magazine. Till next time, God bless you all.